Hola. ¿Cómo está? Right. I think I'm ready. Are you? Alright. Just checking a few more bits and pieces. Welcome to the stream. I'm just catching up on some Discord messages I received, which is always really fun. Cool. All right. Well, code giveaway, Soulframe time. Who doesn't love Soulframe? I certainly do. And that's why I want to do this. So, currently what I've been doing is trying to set up a few more bits and pieces for the actual giveaway itself. Also been just chatting a bit with a few of the other envoys within Discord in and around a particular ability. I think it's called Spectre Strike. I want to give that one a whirl. So I'm looking at ways to increase the chance of Spectre Strike and see how that operates after a perfect dodge. So I'm probably going to run pretty much the entire boss run just to see if we can get the perfect dodge off, but also see what this Spectre Strike does. Apparently it's got something to do with the Soul Strike and the Soul Strike. So I'm going to give that a whirl and see how that operates. Over and above that, it's pretty much a general rule of thumb running around Madrath and causing some chaos. So I had been running one of the Andoran Glades, really hoping for one of these Orangol fragments. That's also something that's been highly sought after within the game. And unfortunately, the drop rates don't seem to be showing it all that much within the game at present. But I've been able to do a few things. Switch my faction away from the Kith of Kings and switch back to the Silent Rose. And I'm hoping that produces a little bit more better RNG for this particular fragment. So I only need one more, which is really nice. So I'm hoping that this glade, at least this instance, gives me an actual fragment for it. So if you are keen to get a Soulframe code, I'll be running this stream for roughly about like an hour and a half. If you do guys any sort of questions without the game, more than happy to answer. I do keep the Discord up for this one because there is a ton of information on the actual Soulframe Discord itself. And this is the open instance one. So for anyone, if you haven't joined them, I'd highly recommend doing so. So I'm hoping that this particular send off for the information is really useful for you as well. If you do want to join my particular Discord, there is a social link there for you. If you want to swing through and have a look, you are more than welcome to, completely your choice. So I'm just going to run through this glade. I may run another one. It is very good for these particular enemies called the Mockeries as well. Predominantly for a few reasons. Not just the good experience points that they drop. Even lower level guys like this give you quite a good amount of XP. Roughly about like 1,000, I'm pretty sure, per kill. Some of them are very resistant to damage types. These ones, particularly with the armor, don't like a lot of damage types at all. And when I mean damage types, I'm talking sharp, arcanic, and voltaic. They do take quite a bit of good damage to a particular weapon in the game, the rook, which is a polearm. It's pretty easy to obtain within the Silent Rose faction, so I've chosen to go and reignite my love of those factions. So hopefully, with a little bit of testing today, we'll be able to get the fragment of Iron Gold, and I can show you how much the rep basically breaks down to be able to get the right amount of rep so you can purchase some of the fragments as well. So we'll go through here, tackle these guys, and then we'll run some of the bosses in game as well. So they're pretty quiet. I probably can bring the rook out at some point just to kind of showcase the difference of damage type that these guys do and don't take a lot of damage to. Interestingly enough, though, these guys dodge a lot more than they used to. And if you are lucky, they do end up dropping a fragment for the Narash, the Tissad, and the Stolten. It's not very often at the moment. However, I think some of the hotfixes will potentially fix that in the future. I would assume because they're relatively new weapons, their drop tables aren't easily accessible within the game. So I guess it's just data collection, checking out and seeing how much drop chance is applied, and that being switched up a little bit per hotfix throughout the game as well. These motors do give you experience points as well. I believe it's a flat 1,000 from memory. The experience points don't seem to be showing in the game as much as what they were, so I'm not too sure if that's something that's being adjusted for future. The pact I'm using is the latest pact that we got in the latest update with the Waste Bear Fable. That was a really, really good one. I am really hoping that the Fable itself becomes replayable. I know that the Tormented Stag is something that can be replayed, so I could run that one. However, I don't really want to ruin it for anyone who wants to experience it firsthand. So as far as spoilers go, I really don't like spoiling anything. If I can handle it, I manage that as well. I'm really hoping this chest gives me what I would like. It's a maybe from this one. It's a no from the chest. Oh well. Alright. Well, that's essentially the end of this Glade instance. The reason why I took this one from the northeastern quarter was to get back into the game, so we can get to a more of the centralized area. Ooh, we got a gold chest. Do we get an Aragorn's Fang from this one? No, but we get the Dire Skull, which is pretty good. It gives you a flat 5+ boost to your grace or range virtue, which is really, really nice. It's quite useful, especially for boosting your grace virtue, especially if you have particular weapons that do draw their extra damage from a higher grace achievement, which for myself at the moment, I don't actually use a lot of the grace achievement at all. I prefer to use the courage base virtue or spirit. I can put a minimum of 9, even boost that further if I want to with the Dire Skull, but I find with the ability range on certain packs, it's not overly essential. Rump Thump is very, very good by itself. The Rump Thump is an exceptional ability. The Webbit Root is kind of more like a CC, and then Song of Regrowth essentially just gives you more increased armor, which is really, really nice. I don't use a huge amount of armor at the moment, but 68 armor is pretty good, and that does inherently change with different weapon types and setups, specifically with the totems that are within the game. Magic armor, physical armor, they're very, very useful totems. These are ranked up completely, so the 3 little leaves on each totem signifies it's maxed out. You can look at, say, like a flat base totem. You can upgrade these as long as you've got the resource harmony. But I've been playing around a lot with a lot of the different totems that we have. So each totem has an accessible slot that it can be put into, depending on where it's popped. This utility slot generally gives you a lot more additional smite chance if you have that particular totem put in that slot, but also ranked up to max, which this one is, and they signify that with the 3-star. As far as a lot of the orbiting fly blades, additional smite chance, I still find the 1 in 20 is still quite accessible to get that critical hit off to an enemy. With fly blades, they do have a little bit of a different setup with different totems in the attack slot. So generally I run a few different things. Enemy armor reduction is quite useful. The 40% damage to a nearby enemy is really good. Orbiting fly blades slowing enemies is actually very useful. You can use multiple instances of a totem in different slots. So you can see that there's the ambling for 15 magic armor. I like to use that because it pushes my magic base armor up quite a bit by 15 points. And then I also add physical armor. With the tireless, you can play however you really like. Stagger is actually quite effective, especially on more melee, I would say, rather than the range, but this still is very useful. The slow on enemies is quite good if you enjoy using the effect of that. So I can put that into that particular slot and then just add another one in there so my armor stays the same. Smite chance I certainly really like using. So I'll use the slow on enemy movement for this run. If I choose to, I like to use the melee slots or melee weapons with the slotted rune, which enhances flame damage, which is activated once you activate the rune itself with the soul smite. Reduction of armor by 12 is useful, and staggering with the melee weapon is very handy, especially on melee setups as well. So it goes for both secondary but also melee. I'd probably say some of the more effective melees that I've been using over the last week would probably be the Narash. So I do have the Everflame rune maxed out in all of my melee weapons. You'd only need 1 copy of the rune to be able to apply it to that particular weapon type. As far as attack speed, that is a very useful one. Kick staggers increasing the charge rate of the next heavy attack is another option. Being a gold rune or totem with the 3 maxed flowers, that means its percentile of damage output or effectiveness rather is increased. If it's a green totem, it only gives up to about 10% attack speed. But the good thing about that is that I can apply 2 different squirrels called the Lith or Lithe, and I can boost that attack speed of that weapon by 20% essentially. So they do stack together, which is really handy. I was playing around with the Resolute for the stagger reflection, but overall for most setups, I will always generally choose the defensive boost to armor in the game, because it definitely helps with survivability, and we do need that. In that being said, I can continue to do the smite kick with the rabbit or the brawn. That one is a yellow one, so the smite chance is actually 1 in 8, where this one is 1 in 20. The perfect throws do give you an even further boost to your crit chance or smite chance as well, so I can use the dock if I choose to. I haven't really decided whether or not I'm going to use that, so I'll maintain using the kick, because obviously being within close quarters of enemies, they can get up and grill pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is set up an attack speed and primary attack for this one, and then I'm going to go with the duck for armor, to the magic defense, and then a smite for this one as well. So Narash will be another weapon that we'll be using alongside the run. And then lastly, I have been using the Earth Root. This is the build for it as well. It does have the maxed rank for Arcstorm, which is really amazing. Luckily enough, the magic weapons out of all of the weapons in the game have the applicable ability of being able to capture a gold squirrel, the Spirited, and that increases the attack speed by 15%. With that being said, within the magic school of particular weapons, the Odiak definitely benefits from this in a few ways. I utilize the 15 attack speed from the totem, and that's fully maxed out. I use the additional smite chance, which is 1 in 13, which is a little bit better than some of them in the totems, and then in the utility. And then also I boost the magic armor, which is a gold, which is the best stats that you can get for magic armor. And for physical damage, or sorry, physical armor, I get the 10 plus, which is really handy. You can choose a little bit more stability for your envoy. You can choose extra parry window. The magic armor I find is very effective. I think I do have 3 docks, so I can actually apply 2 magic armor. So inherently that will boost my armor to 88. With the particular armor set that I've got, I don't have a huge amount of armor apart from this particular piece here. Meaning I've got 3 in physical defense, 3 in magic, and 3 stability. Sorry, 4 stability. I can boost that up even further to certain pieces of armor. It is good to check and see what your armor looks like. I like the look that I've come up with, just kind of like a little Robin Hoodish kind of wizard. So I can boost that complete armor up to roughly about 90 plus, which is really, really effective. But for this run, I'll pretty much just run this whole entire outfit. So I'll probably take the Narash for a run. And you can see too, with different setups on armor, especially with your totems, you can choose to put 2 of the same totem, as long as you have copies of them, into the actual defense slots of that particular weapon type. So magic weapons overall benefit hugely from the rune if you acquire it from the particular boss. So I'll take you guys through a boss run. I'll show you which bosses drop which rune, and I generally start from the northwestern quarter and then work my way down pretty much almost to like the southern area, and then I guess we can probably finish up with the Mendicant King as well. So I'll bring that little guy with me first, and then I'll pretty much have a little bit of a play with a lot of the different weapon types. So if you guys have got any questions with the weapon setups, I'm more than happy to answer those. I have been, like I say, talking with quite a few people within the Discord today, and it's been a very enlightening conversation. I have to say that. So where we'll go, I will show you this area here first. So this is the Neathans. This is one of the newer areas of the update. And we'll start off with the Etheldred, Orb Mother. She's pretty much essentially a giant spider who likes to beat you to a pulp. There are certain damage types that will work better against her than most, but having a maxed weapon alongside your pact up to bond level 30 is very effective against her. She can be quite mobile, I would say, and she can one-hit you from time to time, which is part of the challenge of taking her on. But she is a really fun boss to take on. A lot of them are, actually, alongside the Sinecure. So if you can soul smite an enemy, it's very, very useful to be able to get used to that mechanic of soul smiting and stealing their soul. So hopefully we can get the soul smite here. we'll see. Enemies become a lot more aggressive than usual. There we go, we got a soul smite on that guy. If I'd used my first ability, Rump Thump, I could have basically replenished my used ability straight away. But it does activate a timer for roughly about 30 seconds. And what that means is the rune's active, it's empowered, we can start using its passive, which is the voltaic lightning damage output, which is really, really fun. So hopefully we get another a smite through this encampment, because these guys generally sit around a level 15 to 20 plus, and there's quite a lot of them here too. So this is a really good testing ground to test out your builds and different weapon types, but also get a ton of experience from these guys. So that's Rump Thump in a nutshell. I didn't even hit that chick. That was the ability that I just used. So I'll pull that one back in, and you can see the first ability has basically replenished itself. And I've got the empowered rune active. So generally what will happen if you hit an enemy with a light attack and the rune is active, it will activate the passive, which is the lightning bolts that you see striking them from the sky, which are really handy. You can kick a lot of butt with this particular rune, which is really, really nice. And then the same Arcstorm rune is applicable for the fly blades, funny enough. So if you like using fly blades, they are a very cool weapon to use. They do quite a bit of damage as well. Being able to utilize different build setups with these guys is quite good, especially with the armor reduction doing damage to enemies as well, or extra damage to other enemies around them is really, really fun to do. It only affects up to about one other target from what I've been looking at. So we'll go down here. This is where Etheldred is. You can tell that she's awake because she's got a big blue butt. So we'll jump down and we'll start taking her on, and we might actually potentially get another rune from her, which is the Alka's Breath rune, which is applicable to the bows in the game. It's interesting that it's not applied to the fly blades, as they're a ranged weapon, and that's exactly what Alka's Breath is supposed to be applicable to. So she is pretty mobile. She does have baby spiders that hang around her as well. And she definitely likes to hang out in that bush. For whatever reason, she tends to drop here quite a bit. The other good thing about the pack that I use is it's based on your armor rating that you have. So the higher armor rating, the more damage output you will do with the Rump Thump, which is this ability here. And as you can see, it's very effective against her. Witan is a really good dagger in the game. I use it quite regularly. If I like to use the melees in secondaries, if I don't want to use the fly blades. Where are we? There's a nice little spider here as well. These guys are really good to farm as well, especially for the spider's thread. So this is a new dungeon type as well. I could run through that. I potentially will be able to do one by the end of stream as well, but essentially with running the giveaway for the code as well, I'm basically just going to say, if you're interested, drop your favorite number into chat, and I'll pretty much get someone to pick out a random number, and that's essentially how I'm going to run the code giveaway as well. So at least it's fair for everyone. So that's Etheldred, and she does drop the Alka's Breath rune. I'll go take out the Banneret. She essentially is another mini boss, and it takes about 3 hours for these bosses to regenerate as well in game, and that's in real time as well. So it's basically to safeguard people not being able to go and just completely farm out all the content and just get really OP and then basically stop playing. So I really enjoy that aspect to this particular run through this update, and it's been a really, really good experience going in blind, and now seeing all the information of what people are talking about as well. It's nice because now I can add a very honest input to running through and just playing the game. That's generally how I like to run most of the games that I do as well. So if we can stagger this one, we can basically shove our stuff into her face. And then she really doesn't like the physical damage as well. She can pull off flame attacks as well. So being in a relatively stronger level envoy, she can still do a one-shot as well, which is not ideal. So she can be a bit of a pain in the ass. So I just like to get her out of the way. She does drop quite a few joineries, and those items are essentially things that you can add to your weapon to boost its base damage output, and also attune a different virtue stat, which is the grace, spirit, and courage. And there is a particular excuse me, there's this particular joinery that I really want to get, and it's quite difficult to get it. It's for the Feybob series of joineries, which are very useful for magic-based weapons. I prefer to keep most of them spirit-based, but there is a particular set that I want to turn into a courage-based attunement. So it would work really, really well alongside this particular pact, because it scales not only off the courage-based attunement and the points that you spend into that ability, but also the damage type that I'm looking to increase is voltaic, and that seems to be quite strong. So that will work not only well with this pact, being a courage-based pact. So the more courage base that you've got, the more damage output you have. But this one also scales up your armor rating, which is nice as well. Bug and Myrtle. Okay. Alright. Well, that's a few of the bosses done already, and now there's another one here in Webbitwood, but I'm going to just quickly deviate and go do one of these tier 3 bounties as well. These are essentially a mini side quest that you can take on, and you get the opportunity to farm up some really, really good materials, especially from the boss at the end of them, or rather mini boss. These are RNG, so we'll hopefully find the little paper runner dude, and we can go take on maybe a Badagast Stag. And those particular enemies are quite tough to deal with, but they also have a very high return of reward. So there he is over there. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'll hear no gripes of spectres and ghoulies. Now finish your rounds. Frightened by some lingering magics. In the spirit for a haunt, ghoulie?
Sure am, Lady D. Alright, we'll go pick up the paperwork. And hopefully that's nearby. It's usually either of one of two places. It's usually with these guys in the white robes, or it's on the ground somewhere, which can be a little bit annoying to find. But for this run, that's why I bring Bromius. Jump down, smack me with your wares. As far as heavy weapons go in the game, we don't have heavy weapons as such in the game just yet. I will pull your soul. Thank you very much. And there you go. That's the passive of the Arcstorm rune. Going to town, so. It's a very, very good rune. And the more soul steals that you are able to pull off and smite multiple enemies, if you pull like 3 or 4 souls, you can maintain that upkeep time of that rune being active, which is really nice. Alright, I'm gonna go save a little bunny. Oh look, we've got some prawns. Wait, I think other people call them shrimp, but I call them prawns. Prawns are larger, and these guys can definitely bust out a ton of damage as well. I'm not sure if everyone knows, but these guys do have a lantern that they carry, and it does drop items, so you can run in, pick up the lantern stuff, and then run away, because it will go boom. Alright, so we do have this little guy. Yo, where can I find the game? Tweet 9914. You can find the game through the links that I've just popped into the chat. If you want to chuck your favorite number into chat for me, I am running a code giveaway. I'm going to be streaming for about like another hour. And then if you're the only one that ends up being here for the code giveaway, I will basically ask you to whisper me in Discord, and I'll private message you the code. So, sweet. Awesome. Thank you. How are you? Oh no, we've got an ad break. Hopefully you are able to bypass the ads, or you can sign yourself up to Amazon Prime, I'm pretty sure. And that can basically mitigate the advertising on Twitch as well. I think I did that ages ago, to be honest. So I've been running Amazon Prime for a while, so I don't really use it for anything other than the mitigation of advertising. So just to know what to do with the rest of my day. Oh yeah, that's fair. What time zone are you from? Ah, crap. We got another Badagar stag. Excellent. Don't know what to do with the rest of your day? Well, I mean, if you want to hang out for like an hour, you're welcome to. Like I say, if you're the only one who's got the magical number in chat for a code giveaway, then it's all yours, basically. Alright, Mr. Badagar Stag. Alright, you're almost dead, which is nice. Yeah, stamp. Alright, we'll take you out anyway. Oh man, you can actually push you out of the animation. That sucks. Oh well. Sick, we'll wait for it then? Yeah, no worries. Basically just doing a boss run through Soulframe. It is only on PC and Steam Deck as well, so just letting you know that. PH time? Ah, right, okay. Sweet. Blessed by Sapphine. Ooh. I would have preferred the Fable, but that's for a bow and the Quicksilver, so we'll go see Mr. Cam Butcher. He's a pretty fun one to take on as well. What have you seen so far of, say, like, Soulframe? Do you tune into any of the Soulframe dev streams? But also their Envoy Hour. They're more specific to the code drops as well. There will be an event next weekend as well. Anyone who streams Soulframe, the directory-wide drops for Soulframe will be active for anyone who is able to do the stream of Soulframe. So like affiliates and partners. And I think that will be pretty busy that weekend. So I just saw a clip on TikTok and looked like a Souls-like game. Yeah, Souls-like games, like this one does have elements of it. It's not as punishing as, say, like Dark Souls series or the Elden Ring series. But it does have things like your dodge rolls, blocking, deflection, etc. But Soulframe definitely puts it onto its own spin. They do have their own combat arts style. So in reference to, say, like Soulframe as an example, you do and will be able to have the capability of building your own kind of style of arts, where you learn it from characters within the game. Presently, it's not in the game until we get more information for when the next dev stream from Soulframe happens, which I believe is, I think, later this month, I'm pretty sure. Alright, Cam Butcher. Where are you? I think before I jump in... Oh, well, too late. We're already here. Alright, little guys. The Cabbage Patch Kids are here. This guy, unfortunately, does not like any sort of missile damage directed at him, so if you are more of a melee player, you will enjoy being able to take him on. The reason why I use that first ability, Rump Stomp, is because it's a physical damage output, so he really doesn't like that. So you can basically knock him out in 2 hits, and he turns into a giant lettuce, which is great. And so do all his children, the little dudes that were running around, little corrupted abacots. I've just picked up, I think, the last fragment for 1 piece of armor that he does drop out of a set, but I've luckily been able to farm out the entire set, which has been dope. And I can showcase that if you guys are interested at the end. The Arbearer set, it's really, really strong, and it gives you quite a high armor rating as well. Played rather. I'm not active right now. Ah, right. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm a Warframer as well. I've been playing it for like over a decade. Do you like all the new content? Especially with Noko. He's very strong. An extremely strong frame. And Oberon getting his, I would say, lighter rework is basically a punch god as well. I haven't really tested him too much, to be honest, but LR5 and Warframe, I've been playing it, like I say, like over a decade. But I really enjoy being able to play Soulframe. Being made by DE, they put or trial and test, I guess, new things and see how it goes. And if it works really well, essentially it can be shipped over to Warframe. So Warframe gets to benefit from it as well. So in my head, both games I really enjoy. They're both made by DE. And I think the teams on both projects essentially do an exceptional job. So, especially with the community development and interaction as well, like, you really don't get a lot of other game companies basically like hanging out with like the CEO and director, just doing like what they do, like with the shorts and stuff. So, oh, true. So, Ureli was the last prime. I don't think that was too long ago. A couple of months ago, I'd say. If that. It was earlier this year, I know that. This is another of one of the bosses in the game. He's a bit of an a-hole because he's very, very armored. But the good thing about using a slow on these fly blades is that it slows him down, which is really nice. This particular pact as well does stagger him really nicely. But he also doesn't like a lot of physical attack too, so this particular pact again is very useful against an absolute huge roster of enemies as well. So, and then always make sure that you steal their soul with Soul Stide before you run away from them. Otherwise, they will resurrect themselves, and they basically can live forever. And we just got the Mockery Deathrot, which is the pants that I'm wearing on this envoy. So I'll do a little bit of a fashion change so I can show you a little bit more with the particular armor that you can wear. So I've just gone from Tetherin's Tunic, which only gives you 5 physical. I like the Mendicant King set of Rancor because it gives you pretty much almost 10 points to your physical, but it also gives me a much higher armor output, which in tandem with this particular ability impact will increase your damage output. Within the combat arts tree, for every weapon impact, you get passives. This essentially is a chance to steal armor strength from targets on every attack, which is really, really beneficial for damage output. So it incentivizes get in there, get your hands dirty. Small amount of damage blocked by armor is dealt to the attacker. I don't know how effective this particular passive is just yet because this pact is relatively new. But if you are starting in Soulframe, there's a few options I always say work on first. When you're leveling a pact, start moving towards this particular node at the end. You do have to expend a point to get there. I can pretty much do it on this one. So I'm at rank 30. That means you get roughly about 30 points. I would go along here, build this particular part of the tree out, and I would max out this Everbound. And what that's going to do is give you an absolute boost into your health. So if I go back into here, I've got 480 health as an envoy. So what that means is I'm going to stay alive, essentially. If you come back into the tree after you've done your leveling of it, and you feel comfortable enough, you can boost your other stats within Grace, Spirit, and your Courage as well. So I think with some of the UI things, they are a little bit wonky at the moment. So you'll see that there's a little +1 underneath the 10 of Grace and a +1 on Spirit as well. If I go back into the pact, into the upgrade, and then reset, which is absolutely free to do, there's no negative to doing that. You'll see that I've lost those +1 points. We do get other elements that do add base stats to other virtue points. So the Synod's Bell gives me a +5 to my Courage at present, but the Pact also gives me another 5 points as well, and I could tell by that little number underneath. If I take that item off and then come back into the virtues tree, it's a good practice at present, unfortunately, to reset UI. So just get out of the UI and then come back to here, which is where your arsenal is. You'll see that I only have 5+ points now. I still maintain all of my armor because of all the weapons that I've set up and the armor that I'm actually wearing. But I essentially have roughly not that many points to spend at the moment, because I don't have anything boosting those virtues. So that's essentially how you damage for your weapons and your range of some of your abilities work. So say, for example, if I wanted to extend range, I can add this Grace Totem, the Dire Skull, and come back, and then come back into my Spirit Tree, and then, like I say, exit out, go back in. Hopefully that'll be fixed within the next hotfix, and then that will give me an extra 5 points to the Dire Skull or the Talisman, if it wants to actually apply itself. There we go. And it's always good to check and see if the UI actually applies it. So now I've got +5 points in Grace as well, and that boosts it up to 14. So that's kind of nice in the way of, if I've got +5 points of Courage, +5 in range, then my abilities of this particular pact will extend a little bit further, especially with Web It Root, which is more of like a ground-based ability. I haven't really tested whether or not it actually boosts your Rump Thump range. So I'm just going to rebuild this particular pact the way that I had it. I always pick a kin, and I always put full points into that, because it helps to recharge all of your magical abilities on the pack that you have. So defensive stagger is really, really nice. So you can boost into that if you wanted. If you really want a lot more courage or damage output, you can put a lot more points into Mora's Pride. I generally choose not to. And the reason being is, coming through the ability tree for each pact, I always end up maximizing sympathy, which is the regain life on smite. So when you hit an enemy, your smite chance, it's critical hit, and they start glowing, you can pull that soul out. So that will give me life regen, which is very, very nice. And then Voided is also very good. Empty frames are weakened, deal damage on smite. So that means when I pull a soul out, not only do I get health return, but I also do damage to them when I absorb their soul. So I always max these 3 particular nodes out for that reason. And then I have a look at, do I need a little bit more stagger defense? If I don't, I generally will go for the passives. As I say, I'm not really sure on how much chance to steal armor strength from targets on every attack is being applied with these particular 2 nodes, but also blocking damage as well. So I'm going to just boost this one up for now, and I may actually just add a point to Spirit. So that's for duration. Grace, I'm actually going to put a lot more into, just to see how many points I need to be able to get that up. And then what I want to do is actually test out the range of this particular ability, the Rump Thump, to see if I can actually jump further. And then if I really want to, I can add more courage, which I will. So I'll get 1 extra point in that. And then I'll jump out of the UI and I'll show you what that all looks like with the Virtue set now. So we've got a bonus point from the pack tree that we just filled out, +1. We've got 11 points. That's inclusive of the points that we put into Grace within the upgrade tree of the pact. But then we've also got an extra 5 points from that particular item. So that inherently gives us 11 range, which is very nice. And then to note though too, if I have anything less than Spirit attunement of 10 points, which is required to give more higher damage output to this particular weapon, because it's attuned to Spirit, the more points I have, the more damage output. So let's have a look. We've got 66 points in attack at the moment, just under the required Spirit. So we've got 10 points. We can put 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll have a look and see what our attack is now. It's 72. So that jumps up quite significantly, which is nice. Inclusive with the bonus point from the bonuses that we got in the pact as well itself. So let's go play with Rump Thump and see if the range is going to be boosted at all by the passive of additional points in the pact, but then also the virtue itself of Grace, which is range based on abilities. So I think it's early February. Oh, and that was for the Ureli access, I think. I'm pretty sure it was. It was either February or March. I know it was actually. I know it was around my my special day to celebrate, because my special day to celebrate my birthday's in March. So I'm pretty sure you're right. I don't know like exact dates or anything like that. My brain's not that good. But as far as like retaining stuff that I actually enjoy, like everything I was just kind of going through, I hope you found that helpful. Firstly, as well, tweet, and secondly, I really enjoy Soulframe. The backstab, like the elements to it that we have opportunity for to kill enemies is quite good. So you can certainly do sneak attacks, which is really, really nice. You can do blocking as well, so you can do that with different weapons. Predominantly magic weapons will give you like a little bit of, say, of like a magic shield in front of you. So I'll see if I can get like an actual timed block off, especially with the archers as well. They're a bit of a pain in the ass in a lot of ways. So heavy units as well, they're extremely annoying, but they can be very, very strong. So that's a smite, and that was a soul steal. So you can see that how well and effective that happens against an enemy. And now we've got another smite, so we've got a fully regenerated rune active once again, and that activates its passive with lightning voltaic damage on enemies. This guy can block all he wants, but eventually he'll get taken out either by me or the passive that I'm using, which just basically does all the work for you, which is phenomenal. It does do a very large AoE, which is phenomenal, and yeah, you can basically clear out enemies really, really quickly. Looks good too. It's only going to get better from here. Yeah, absolutely agreed. The I think there's talk on the Soulframe stream that they're going to be doing a founders pack for Soulframe, and I'm very excited for that. So yes, I will be investing in it. I would love to be a founder in Soulframe. It's a to me, it's very worthwhile investing in. So just to cover who we've gone up against already, we've done the Eveldred Spider-Mom Orb-Mom. So she's the one that gets the Alka's Breath Rune. It's a very low drop chance, unfortunately. We've taken out the Nell Knight. He generally just drops weapon fragments for different weapons. We've taken out Kabucha. He's pretty cool. And we've taken out the Thrice-Bound Impety. I'm not really sure if that's correct pronunciation of that. But I'll take you guys down here to Fort Colonel. This is a very, very good area for multiple reasons. It's really good for farming higher level enemies, but also a special event within the game, which is the Saccade as well. And then also, if you hear Pissed Big Legs, it's a nice little compliment from this little dude called Avocot, which you'll become pretty familiar with throughout the game. I'll give you a quick brief rundown. Starting off in Soulframe, you can purchase some of these. I would recommend, if you really need them, like one, just come and buy like a couple of patch leather. Scrap brass is also another really good material to purchase, especially when you start out in Soulframe. It is grindy, very much so like Warframe, and basically you can increase your account rank with your envoy by killing enemies, absorbing experience, leveling up your weapons. I'm not too sure on what the affinity or experience range is for your envoy, but essentially you want to be doing everything that you possibly can to level everything up that you come across. And once you get access to your forge, so to speak, you can start creating different weapons, all sorts of armor pieces. They do have about 3 ranks for you to work through until you can basically access everything within the game. So that means weapons and armor. So you do have to essentially build like tier 1 weapons, and that will unlock a different bond with your forge and or ancestor, I should say. You'll become familiar with those once you start playing the game. I really don't want to spoil too much about the game, because I really think going in blind, it's play it your way once you've got your code kind of thing. But on a personal note, I generally go through a game and I like being able to struggle straight through it, just so I can kind of figure out, okay, what's working, what's not, what does that mechanic do, so to speak. And I certainly did that with Soulframe, and I'm actually really glad that I did, for a very good reason, because there is a little bit of a break with, say, like updates and hotfixes for the game as it's being developed. I really just don't want to lose the luster and enjoyment of the game. So I really enjoy this entire game for what it is. So now I'm going to use the fly blades. I'll show you guys how these operate with a rune. It does apply the Arcstorm rune as well, funny enough. Not really sure why it doesn't apply the Alka's Breath rune, in all honesty, but it certainly punches through enemies quite a lot. So if it's active and you can continually keep it upgraded or active, you'll get those lightning strikes happening quite a lot. This chick is really annoying. She likes to heal the shit out of herself. So generally, if you like melee, it does work really well. But once you break her armor, essentially, she basically will start throwing fire at you, which can one-hit you, which is really annoying. So this pact, for being a later game pact, it's extremely effective against her. She's an absolute pain to take on. And she drops a particular item that you need to be able to access the siege, basically, for this area, which is called Fort Colonel. Very, very good area to come and farm and visit. There is a boss here that we'll go take on, but also because of the Crypt of the Saccade, which is a special event that's still active within the game. So, for map, is it only Madrath? Yes, it is. There is something that I will note. This little island up in the very northwest, you can't access anymore. Part of the Prelude series in Soulframe is basically, let's see how many ways that we can break the game, which is another really good, I guess, side note to being able to play the Preludes, is because we can give feedback about the game, what's working, what's not. The whole Soulframe team essentially will kind of look at stuff. You can put a ticket in and stuff through the Discord that you get access to once you have access to the game with your code. So there is quite a lot of feedback that I've been giving within the game as well. So you will see me active within the Discord servers as well. So if you want to say hi, feel free to. I do have a Discord server as well. So and they're all pretty much up in chat anyway as well. So I'll take you guys through the Colonel event, and then we'll go to the Saccade. It is an event that you can get an entire armor set from. I don't need to do it because I've completed it, but I can show you a bit of a run through. And basically show you how to get a fragment of something that is very beneficial to your envoy once you get all 3 of them. Archers are an absolute pain in the ass to deal with. They have gotten a huge upgrade to their tracking within the game, meaning they can basically snipe the hell out of you if they're aware of your presence, which is really annoying. So they are very good to take out. These guys up here, they're 2 of the ones that I take out generally, and then this one up here, and there's about 4 or 5 of them. So, and they do end up throwing out these like big sound sonic arrows, I guess. So they can be very painful to deal with. So there's 4 of them I've taken out, and there's another one over here. I think there's another one up in the ramparts somewhere. Actually, they're both at the bottom of the stairs. So if you do come here, you can use these metal-looking boxes to actually mitigate their missile misery, I'll say. They are very good to see if you can soul steal from, so I think I basically missed that soul steal chance from this guy. But that's alright. I think that's most of them done. Apart from this one coming down the stairs, so I'm going to go take him on. Drabelle. She's a real pain in the ass too. Any of the female bannerets who've got gold armor and have that big mace, basically, once you get them to half health, they will start regenerating their health very quickly. And they just stomp their bloody club on the floor. They can heal through your damage as well, so be really, really aggressive with them. And if you can take them out, all the better, because they're an absolute pain in the ass to deal with. But as far as the map tweet, yes, the map is basically just this island of Madrath. I would only assume in time that it's going to be extended, and I'm not kidding. Like, I would love to see a gigantic map like Elden Ring as an example for this game. I can only imagine that's probably going to be a few years in the making, but also I want to continue playing this game every step of the way. It's a really, really good game. To me, it kind of has quite a few different elements to it. As you mentioned, it does have Souls-like things in there as well. So like rolling, but you don't fat boy roll like you do in Elden Ring, which is really, really nice. So combat and movement for the envoy is really, really nice. There is a really good benefit to that too, because we have a particular way of our envoy moving. Some of those elements are being translated over to the operators and the drifters within within Warframe. So I'm really excited to see what the operator and drifter upgrades are going to be like the end of this year. So when official game launches, do you keep your progression on the alpha game? I would assume so, yes. We have been told within the preludes at the moment they have had to do 1 or 2 resets, but Steve has come out and said, no, we're not going to be doing any more account resets for anyone. I would assume if there's anything where they have to say, you know what, we may have to, which I highly doubt that they will. If in the past they've had to, which they have done, I got all of my stuff back retroactively. Levels, all the equipment that I have, and they supplemented, I think, a little bit of premium currency within the game, so they're still testing that. So very much like Platinum. So they do aim to keep this game free to play, which is great. This is the Castellian Malrog. He's relatively easy to run through. He just screams a lot, basically. And he's basically a lesser version of the Banneret, the female version. And yeah, just a little bit more aggressive with his sword, but he's quite easy to take on as well. So I'll just slow him down with the orbiting flow blades, build up a bit of stagger on him, and then just take him out again with the rump thump. Which doesn't really seem that fair because of the amount of damage output that it can do. And that's mostly due to the, oh hell yeah, we got a Blessed by Mora, but that is for a melee series of weapons for reforging, which is also free, by the way. It's basically like reforming your weapon. All you've got to do is make sure that you've got the right amount of materials, and then you can basically reforge a weapon at your forge for no cost other than the materials that you've already got. So it doesn't cost any time to do that too, which is phenomenal. Obviously with Warframe it's very different. It would be nice to see if we could potentially have that translated over to Warframe, but there's no guarantee for that at all, which I doubt that Warframe would implement that. Possibly lower timers on crafting for sure, but I doubt that they would do an instant like reformer kind of thing. Or well, we do former instantly already, so essentially it's kind of like the same thing. You've just got to make sure that when you reforge you've got all the right materials, which you won't have a problem with at all. So I feel like I'm cheating with this pact, to be honest. So I can actually switch over to a different pact altogether, just so I can showcase a few of the other ones. I'll step away from Mr. Bromius as well. I can probably showcase one of the base packs in the game, which is Tetherin. It's a courage-based pact. The Fellist, this is a really, really good ability. Even for a starting envoy, it's very strong. Oshielda is my particular pack that I chose to start with. Bestoning, this freezes enemies in stone for a certain period of time. Elder Bloom is a very strong healing mechanic. If you think about Warframe, think about like Trinity's Champion Blessing. It's not as instant, but it does heal you over time quite quickly within this game. And then Phantom Flock essentially is just like a flock of birds, and they peck the crap out of enemies as well. But I'll take you through Fellist. Call of Ancients essentially is like you scream, you increase rage, damage, and increase defense for a short amount of time. And then Clash, it's basically like a get away from me card. With this particular pact, I do maintain a lot of the passives within it. So absorbing a small amount of health with the enemies that you kill or attack. And then Last Stand is low life, triggers increased attack speed. I haven't really noticed, again, how effective these particular passives are. But again, Akin, Voided, and Sympathy, I always make sure that I've got these pretty much maxed. This one, I don't really mind not having deal damage on Smite, because I don't necessarily need it for this pact, and I'll show you why. This one scales off your Courage attunement or Virtue rather than Spirit. So we've got about 15 Courage, which is great. Keeping in mind, though, we do have a Spirit weapon on at the moment. So what I can do is pretty much like drop over to a bow, and then we can play around with that. You'll see switching weapons as well. My armor dropped down from 96 because of these two totems in the utility of the defense slot. I have 2 magic totems, which are max rank. So that gives me an absolute butt ton of armor. On the like other different ranged weapons, I have the Alka's Breath rune, and that one activates the utility slots, not the defense. And then to explain what the melee rune does, it activates the 2 attack slots. So Everflame is very effective, but I'll take the bow through as well. And then I'll probably showcase a bit of the Rook, since we spoke about that earlier. This one is a blunt damage, and I've got 2 of the attack speed totems on there. The purple ones, ranked 3 with the leaves with the borders around the totems. The Smite, it does do a bit of stagger damage with 14 meters around the target. I am going to test that and see what it actually does, because I haven't really played around with that. And then this particular class of weapons in melees, you only get 1 defensive armor boost totem slot. So 73 armor is overall, it's relatively okay. I can change my helm as well. So let's say we can play like Bucket Hat, for example. It doesn't have the best of stats. The Arbearer's Mask is a very, very good one. And that's one that I mentioned earlier from Kombucha, that weird root-looking tree guardian. And then Cicade's Helm is quite a good helm as well. It doesn't give you any other magical or stability buffs or defenses, but the Arbearer's Mask does. So we'll take that for a spin, and then I'm going to show you the blunt damage that this particular weapon has. It is attuned to Spirit as well, but because of the pack that I'm using, I can drop my spirit down to 10 and just float that at 10. And I can also do that with grace. And then I can put all those extra points into courage. If I was playing with the bow, for example, it would give me a higher attack rating because I've just put more points into courage. But I'm going to play with the rook. And then I just want to double check and see what the stats are for this particular weapon. So it's about 124. So as an example, if I want to do more melee damage with an attuned weapon with courage, this one does roughly about 92. But this one, because it's a polearm, it's like a heavier kind of class of weapon. It does do a lot more damage as well. So I can choose to drop my courage down to 10. And this weapon is spirit. So let's say we've got attack is 124. Let's put this up 15 points. That goes up to 132. And then we can put one more point and see if that one actually pushes that. So it goes up a point to 133. So we'll see, what does that take me to? 19 spirit, and that drops me up to about 138 damage output, and still a relatively healthy armor overall stat as well. So so I'll take you guys through the Saccade. There is another mechanic that we have access to called Soul Sight. It's very beneficial to get used to how this ability operates within the game. It basically allows you to see souls, and these guys are mockeries. These ones are the ones that I was taking on before. The Thrice Bound Impedy, as an example, is one of the major mockeries in the game of being the bosses. And these guys will basically only take a hit or two with blunt damage. And this is the only weapon in the game that carries blunt damage at the moment. I really hope that we get more weapons within the game that will allow us to get more blunt damage within the game too, which is really cool. I can increase my consecutive hits per hit by applying Felist, and the way that you see Tetherin operate is it will coat your weapons in this red thorn magic, and that will last forever until you start swinging the weapon. So you get about 5 hits before it disappears. So that's 2 hits, and that means it's collecting all the damage. So I've done 3 hits now, and that's even stronger. So if I find at least one more enemy, I can basically one-hit it again. And then do 2 more hits. So if we do 4 and then 5, you can see that Felist now dissipates and goes away, and the first ability is now regenerating as well. And within the passive tree of Tetherin, that's what a kin does. It helps to regenerate your abilities really, really quickly. So this is essentially how to get part of the Saccade event done as well. There is an event at the moment collecting winter squash pumpkins, running around the world to be able to mix and match 3 different little masks that you can collect within the game. I think there's Little Zook, which is probably the best mask in the game. Its stats aren't really that amazing, but it looks cool. It's essentially for Halloween, which is nice. So I'm not too sure how long the event will last for. We don't have a closing date for that just yet. So ghosts, they also don't like blunt damage as well. They are a bit annoying, but you can take them out pretty quick. You can use sharp damage weapons on them, but for the most part, blunt damage works really, really well. So what do you open? This one here. Okie dokie. Lots of different little puzzles within this game too, which is nice. So what does this do? I'm going to assume it's the same button to open this one. The tile sets within the game, very much like Warframe, some of them will carry a relatively similar style to the map, but then there's elements within that can shift around and change. So for the most part, you do get used to or familiar with certain tile sets, and for the most part, like this one, it generally will stay the same roughly internally, but then they'll just add like a few different hallways and different levels of enemies in there as well. Alright, so we've got the Quicksilver Polish, so that one's also for bows as well. You can pick up flora and fauna, so we can basically pick up plants within the game. I've noted that within Warframe, that's also become relevant as well. Instead of having to use an Oculus, I believe it is, and plant scanning as well, which is actually quite nice. All right, so this one's a puzzle, so we've got to go find a statue head. This particular puzzle is basically you've got to run across without getting pushed off the edge. Soul Sight is also something, like I mentioned before, you can tell it's active by the magic that hangs out on your shoulders. Tethering gets the blood red thorns, basically. So you've just got to pick up this concrete head, and hopefully you don't get blown away, and bring that one up here, and it should open a particular pathway for us as well. So once you drop that back on here, that should despawn all of the bollocks from the from this puzzle. And that's how to basically do this this puzzle as well. Ochi dochi, how's the game so far? It's dope. If you can do me a favor, drop your favorite number into chat for me. I've probably got about 15 minutes more on the... oh shit, we got the Orangle's Fang. Are you kidding me? Okay. That came from this chest. That is very good information. I have been trying to get this goddamn fragment for a very long time. Before I go and take up the boss, I am actually going to go spoil a little bit of something for you guys and go forge this goddamn fragment into a full item. Oh my god. That is phenomenal. I'm so glad I got it. Wow. Favorite number? Yeah, just drop a number into chat for me. It's for the code giveaway. I'm assuming that that's what you're here for. Alright, Orangle's Fang. Where are you, my friend? Where are you? So basically this is what I was mentioning before. Where is it? Oh my god. Can you please make the Orangle's Fang? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Oh my god.
I'd be keen to see it whole.
So I'll run you guys through basically your forge. It is an ancestor. You do have to go and find her. You do have to have particular items to be able to make certain weapons in the game. Items, everything in the game basically. Dendrite Weave is really easy to come by. Drax, your currency, like credits, you can easily farm those, no problem. Soulsbane, they are flowers that are relatively rare-ish to find, but you can find them within the corrupted areas of the map. And then Moronite, also very easy to find. So this particular item gives you Grace +3 in your points, and then Spirit +2. That's a shame. I was really hoping it was going to be a pure Spirit-based item, but that's okay. I'm going to forge it anyway. So once you've got your items, it's roughly, it depends on what you're building. These necklaces basically take about 24 hours to build. You can rush them with premium platinum or premium currency, but I've already spent mine. So I'm going to have to wait for 24 hours, which is unfortunate. So I've showcased the Rook. I can basically show you another build that I've been working on as well. So that's the blunt damage that we've showcased. I can probably take the sword and board, to be honest. These are actually quite fun. This one is originally an attunement to Grace. This one is a courage-based one as well. So you've got two different ones. This one will do higher damage though, purely because I've attuned it to Spirit. But the damage output application from the first ability from this pact is basically kind of like Rhino's Roar in a way. So I can apply that, and we'll go take on the Saccade as well. Sweet, 13, dope. Yeah, that's 2, but I came back to check out how the game is. It looks pretty promising so far. Nice. Well, it's amazing, and I'm basically doing a mini walkthrough, an educational kind of feel to the game. Hopefully I'm expressing enough information that is clear. If I'm unclear with anything, do let me know. I'm happy to continue explaining stuff. So this is part of this special event. This guy is called the Saccade. We do have a bug at the moment where some bosses end up being called the Butcher. If you're familiar with the Diablo franchise of games, I'm expecting this guy to yell out and say fresh meat, which he's not. So there is a purpose to the madness of taking on this boss. So I'll show you guys why. But basically, you have to summon him and you have to capture his soul to get a particular item created and crafted with him. So he will track you all the way through the dungeon, which is part of the reason of what you need to do to take him on. So there's his name. So there we go. It's actually fixed up the butcher nameplate. There is a very big puzzle within this room, so it is ideal to maintain notion of where it is. Your exit is generally in the same place every single time, which is between these two statues most of the time. And the way that you can tell is because there's a slab at the end. You just stand up on that, and that's the exit to this particular tile set. But you don't really want to go up there just yet. So what we're going to do is find this arcade. Here he is. Come on. We'll go find what we're looking for. So, and hopefully we've got one of the symbols that we need to absorb him into for the item that we're looking for. He's pretty mobile, and he does dish out quite a bit of damage as well. So it is good to throw an attack at him every once in a while. Good. So these symbols will appear every single time you come into this dungeon. Say, for example, we want this particular symbol here, the blue. You basically have to fight him directly in front of that colored symbol. And then absorb him into this particular symbol. And that will give you a fragment of a necklace that you need for another part of his quest, essentially. So you can tell that he's absorbed when his star or spirit gets absorbed, and then you can come up to these, and then you can talk to it, basically. I'll skip the dialogue for it, and then I'll show you what I mean. If I can stick the dialogue, which it won't let me, unfortunately. So, enjoy the dialogue.
All is arranged. At 7th bell will I go to the market, 3 diamonds in hand, to find the Lord's firm shake. A deal to wrest old Jota of his crown. Soon, brothers, the reign of the Circade.
So after completing one of these, you do have 2 more to run through. You will receive a fragment for a necklace. But remember which colors that you've done. So now that we've done blue, we can rerun this tile set and do the green, and we can do the red. They won't appear in the same place every single time. So every time that you generate a new tile set, the same thing happens with the overworld map. It does reset all the enemies. It resets all the levels of everything in the game, which is really, really nice. So as far as farming goes, you can focus farm relatively well within the game. I'm actually really stoked that we got the Orangor's Fang, to be honest, because it's been a very low drop chance. Think about like, I guess like Hammer Shot. That's an extremely like, what, 0.01% drop chance. Don't quote me on that. It's just an extremely low chance for it to drop. So this is always signifying the exit. So just running up these elevators, essentially. You see these stairs. You can check in here for a chest. Sometimes it will show up, but this is the exit here. Always good for little story times. Oh, hell yeah. I'm trying to keep things relatively spoiler free for you guys, because it is really worth jumping into this game, in my opinion. It's definitely changed quite a lot since I've been part of Preludes 8. It's now Preludes 11. So they've done a lot of work to get it to where it is in a very short amount of time, which is phenomenal. So these guys are relatively easy to take on. If you do choose Tethran or the Courage Pact to start with, the first ability Fellist will increase your damage output. And then hopefully I can get a Soul Steal off as well, so we can showcase the Flyblades again. So the lightning bolts that are coming down is because I've been able to steal that soul. I've got the rune active, and it just does its own thing. It's a completely passive damage output as well, and it does quite a lot of AoE damage around enemies as well. So it does trigger and chain lightning to different enemies as well. So that's really, really cool. These scarecrows are basically farmable. They do drop a fragment of the masks that you can get in game. That one did not, so, which is a shame. We have done quite a few of the northern region bosses, so now I can take you guys down to Dimrod. He's a very fun boss, so we'll head down this way. If you do get lost in the game and you want to figure out where the hell you're going, 2 tools. This one, Magical Snap, Flappy Bird will appear, and he will generally head towards either a point of interest or the actual waypoint that you force proc down on the map, which I would honestly recommend. Once you start understanding like the map setup and where you want to go, I would honestly be using forced waypoints to a degree, because sometimes the Flappy Bird will get completely drunk and take you on a very weird direction for whatever reason. So the pathing of the Sparrow is not 100% just yet, which is okay. For the most part, he generally shows you the way to go. If you do get stuck and the compass isn't showing, just snap your fingers. And generally, if there is an actual quest for you to take care of, and there's a little bird icon hovering in the compass, I would recommend following that over using Flappy Bird sometimes. Because, yeah, he can kind of be a little bit drunk, which is fine. So I'll take you guys through to the next boss, Dimrod, and he is another rune bearer of the rune, which is Everflame. I have a feeling a lot of you guys will really enjoy Everflame. It is very strong, and I'm really hoping that I get a potential Soul Smite from this guy too. So this is Dimrod. You do get to meet another version of him earlier on in the game, but this is basically showing a lot of his mechanics that he does have. So he's very, very strong. He throws out a lot of volatility, lightning damage as well, and he can hit like a truck. He does have quite a lot of movement added to him as well, which is really nice. You can turn yourself into Captain America. As long as you use block, you can heavy throw your shield, and you can basically become Team America. Team or Captain America, whatever you want to choose. So he does do aerial assaults, which can be pretty annoying, and they do quite a bit of damage to him. As soon as he charges up his lightning, you definitely want to dodge roll, because it can basically take you out. If you do let him hit you, he will hurt. I'm actually hoping that we get the Everflame rune from him as well. The second ability will definitely give you a lot of damage mitigation. You do have the capability to strike enemies back and regain health from what they've taken from you as well. So if I just jump in and I do a bit of damage to him, I can regenerate a little bit of health from him too. But he's probably going to kick my ass. Yeah. And this is basically like your last gasp in Warframe. You turn into your little sparrow tail, and then you basically have to follow the magic little trail to head back to your envoy body and resurrect yourself, basically. If you can get a headshot off on most of your attacks, that generally will do a lot more damage to most of the bosses in the game too. Yeah, he's definitely tanky. They've added quite a lot of different mechanics to all the bosses. Stagger bars, armor as well. So if they've got armor over, or like their health bar is grayed out, that basically means that they're armored and you're not doing enough damage to break that armor, which is kind of annoying. But you can find ways to get around it, especially with the totem setups, because some of the totems will give you armor reduction on hit, which is really, really nice. It's a little bit more of a slower fight. I've chosen it to be that way as well, just so I can showcase more of the abilities of the different packs as well. So we'll just wait until he 3, 2, 1. There we go, and he'll jump down, do a big AOE, and he'll start trying to regenerate himself with his lightning as well. You can deal without your shield for a little bit though too, so he has gotten a lot faster with his attack setup too. So yeah, he can be very difficult to take on, but once you kind of understand his mechanics, you know how to mitigate all of his damage, etc. as well. So I'll probably speed up the process a little bit now, and I'll utilize the secondary weapons I've got too now. Fly blades are really, really good for slowing enemies, armor reduction, damage output as well, and basically giving a little bit more damage output. And there is an item that you can use to be able to essentially stop him from regenning as well. I've just been too lazy to farm up the actual items that I need to be able to remove his regeneration, but I would really like to see though if we can actually get his armor in the game farmable as well. It's probably one of the coolest armor sets in the game, in my opinion. There are a lot of really good armor sets in the game, but the details on Nimrods are definitely something I really want to use. So all right, buddy. I've specifically chosen more of the weapons though too that don't do a lot of damage. I probably can switch to one of them that will actually just neutralize him pretty quickly. We do have a little ad breaky coming in 1 minute, unfortunately. How's the gameplay for bows? It's actually really good. Bows are very strong in the game. If I get my ass kicked again by Nimrod, I'll probably just wait and I can showcase some of the bows in game too. Although there is another boss I can use the bow against as well. Alright, bud. Come on. Okay. He is a pretty fun boss to go up against, though. Please don't jump again. Jesus Christ. Alright. Alright. I'm going to peace out from this boss. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to bring the bow. He's a real pain in the ass sometimes. And the good thing about him not following you is that essentially you can disengage eventually, but he will regenerate by the time you come back to him. So I'm just going to put on a build that I know that basically will waste him very quickly. And then I'll showcase the bow for you guys at the end as well. Where are we? I've got one of two options. I can either do the reduction of armor, or I can do the stagger on primary. But attack speed, especially with the mage staff, is very good as well. So I will switch it up. Actually, no, I'm going to keep that tethering, but I will bring a melee secondary as well. So I will lose a little bit of armor, but you can see my armor rating has gone up to 102. So you can easily get up over 100 armor within the game, but that does depend on your setup and the level of your actual items, of your totems as well. Drippy Captain America? Basically, yes. I'm opting to get away from Mr. America now, or Captain America, because Bog and Battle is good. Melee combat is decent against Nimrod, but he is a bit of a pain in the ass. So I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to apply the Fellis to my magic damage, and hopefully I get a nice Soul Smite too, which, there we go, we've already got one. And because of the Smite Chance activation, it's very, very useful, especially against Dimrod. He's an absolute pain to deal with at certain points, but certain weapons damage types will do a really, really good job against him. And the Earth's Root or Arcanic damage type is very effective against him. He's an absolute pain, and it just absolutely decimates him. So that can basically strip him of all of his regenerative capability as well. So that's him down, and unfortunately I don't think that we got the Everflame rune. So this boss specifically will drop the Everflame, which is very, very good. So he's pretty much our last boss on the run. I'll do the Wazard. I can do the Mendicant King as well. He's actually a really good boss fight, to be honest, so I'll probably finish up with the Mendicant King. That was a long ad. Indeed. I think they're roughly around like 180 seconds, I think. I think I can shorten them. I'm pretty sure. Talking about Nimrod's armor. Dracis, what's going on? How are you? Remember the armor we saw in the Bromius quest? The cutscene with Synod. We were promised to get it with P12. That's a different armor set though. But yeah, I do remember that particular armor that you're talking about. It's very nice. And I really do hope that we're getting it, though. I would probably say, too, like, promising and delivery are two different things. I'd probably say it's nice to see if we get things showcased, but things can change, as we know. Alright, so we'll go down and we'll go test out the Synod as well. Before I do that, I will switch to the bow, which is extremely effective against pretty much every single enemy in the game. I do have the 15 magic armor totem, and I've also got pretty much double the amount of smite chance, which is phenomenal. Charge rate definitely works very well, but I choose to use slow hail on the hail of arrows with the bow for multiple reasons. Firstly, it's very effective, and secondarily, you get an absolute ton of them, and you can get a lot more smite chance with these as well. So you can opt to use a bow with tethering as well, and I believe I've changed the achievement of this one away from grace to courage anyway, so that would mean I have to go back in and go through and manually edit all of my virtues again. So I'm going to do 10 spirit, which is duration, grace is 10 for range, and then courage I'm going to boost up. So if we go back over to the bow, resetting the UI, the Blitzel bow will do a little bit more damage because it is already attuned to damage output of courage with the virtue. But I want to use this particular bow because it does have a little bit more charge rate, which is great, and then the headshot multiplier application as well. This one has the same kind of joinery to it, but I just like the look of the bow essentially. I will upgrade my armor though because we don't have the best armor stats at the moment, so I'm going to chuck on the latest armor that we have from Bromius, the big boy armor, and then I'm going to switch up my build again and just chuck on the Pricklies just so I can get a higher armor rating as well. If I chose to, I could put on my magic Odiak gauntlets as well, so I can showcase that on the way to the Wazard. Because of the 2 magical armor totems that I've got maxed out in this particular magic weapon, I could do the same over here, and I will have 2 ducks, and that will carry through the 101 armor stat, and then I've already got that set up on the Earth Street as well. So these guys do voltaic damage, which are really, really nice, and they also do have the Arc Rune or Arc Storm Rune attached, so you can get a very healthy armor rating of about 100 plus, and there are items I'm sure that can build it even further. I'm pretty sure it's the Wazard's Wish, which is the necklace in the game, so it does give you a little bit of spirit boost, but it also gives you, I think, 1 or 2 points in physical defense and magical defense, I'm pretty sure. Melted tweet. Oh, sweet, thanks. Yeah, I will. I've got a giant mason jar of water. It's not the most classy thing, but you never have a cup that's big enough to get hydrated, so. Oh, Machi, you missed out on the bow. I'm assuming Arrow Hail helps with crowd control during the slowed effect. Indeed, yeah. Essentially, that's basically what I said. Yeah. I do have a bit of a different setup on the bow. I have been testing like quite a few different things. With this one, I do use the duck for the slow movement for 8 seconds, but I also put the 2 squirrels on there for sprite, for smite chance. So for the arrow hail, once I pop that off and I've got all of these totems maxed with the 15 magic armor and the maxed Alka's Breath Rune, for some reason I've magically got 5 copies. I have gone and done a few more runs with the Edvil Dread, but I've been very lucky to get the Alka's Breath first. It's a very, very good weapon, so I just want to showcase a bit of the Odiak, because I have had people asking, where do I farm the Odiak? You can actually get drops of it from the bosses as well. So most of the weapons, specialist weapons like Odiak, and most of the sidearms have been diversified into boss drop tables as well. So hopefully we come up against some of the Sinecure along the way. Yeah, there's a group of them there. But the arrow hail is very good as well. So the reason why I want to reattune these particular weapons is for a few reasons. One, they have an automated speed build-up of consecutive hits from not just tether, actual combat arts skill tree for the magic weapons, for the Odiak. It will basically break any enemy down, only if they don't sacrifice themselves like that dude did. You can get totems that give you a 15 plus attack speed boost, but the Odiak within its skill tree does have an absolute beast of a node. I think I accidentally called it like standalone or something like that, but it's actually called grounded. That increases your casting speed when standing still, and then that in tandem with the setup of your totems having 15 plus attack speed is insane. So you can basically turn yourself into like an electronic railgun, if you will. So it's the closest thing that you've got to a rapid fire kind of weapon as well, and it does waste enemies. Like, I'll use this instead of the arrow hail, but I'll showcase the arrow hail on a group of enemies so you can see the effect of it, especially with the smite chances as well. Do you have the courage Odiak at level 30? No, Dracis, I haven't been able to get the particular Feybolt joinery that I really want to be able to give it throw distance and the consecutive damage boost from the Feybolt. That's a Blessed Joinery of Mora. I still haven't gotten that one. It's very elusive. But once I do, I will definitely be showcasing that as well. Because, yeah, I can pair it with Tetherin for its Fellister boost. But also the Voltaic damage as well will be great. So this is the Wazid. I'm basically just going to jump scare him. He can reduce all of your projectiles back at you as well. So he can be a bit of a pain in the ass, especially against magic. But with Tetherin, it can pretty much do an absolute ton of damage if he allows you to. You can put his projectiles back at him though too, and then he basically summons all these baby spiders as well. The heavy attack for this particular weapon is really, really good too. If you hit more and more of the enemies, you will get a pretty good amount of damage off as well. But basically just standing still and just facing these little dudes, you'll be able to kill them in a couple of hits anyway. But having a really good armor rating as well is very handy. So it's good that these Sinecure are here. They don't like corrupt enemies. And hopefully one of them gives me a soul that I can steal it. And I can finally finish off the Wazid as well. So there you go. There's the Arcstone room active. And then basically he can try to reflect all my damage back at me. And he does. But because I've got so much armor resistance against him, and I can reflect everything back at him, I can basically just stand in place and just let the rune just do the work for me. And the smite chance as well, 1 in 13 chance of every hit, is pretty consistent. So you can I guess increase all of your damage even more so with your Fellist ability applied, which is really, really worth it. And the consecutive attack ramp up that comes with the Fellist, but also the Feybolt joinery and the throw distance is very, very good, even against armored enemies as well. So there's lots of opportunities to be able to increase your damage output and basically kind of exploit the system of the virtues basically to your advantage, which is really, really nice. So these are essentially one of the most powerful synergies that you can probably come up with, especially with magic output and the voltaic damage type that the Odiak offer. And I think that's why a lot of people in the game are asking, where do I get the Odiak? And this is for that reason especially. So this is essentially one of like the build kind of things that I put up in the the Soulframe Discord as well. So that's the ODAC in a nutshell, in its most powerful form, relatively speaking. But I'll show you guys how the arrow hail setup works, especially on smite and enemy output. So damage output, I mean, to enemies. These are lower level dudes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're like level 9. But it'd be sufficient for the showcase of it at least. So if you just pull a fully knocked arrow hail, they'll basically die or they'll get slowed, which is really, really nice. What we can do though is essentially head down to the Mendicant King as well. Do you have the Courage Odiak? I do not yet. And will you get attack speed from the passive of Tetherin? I don't know if that actually applies, to be honest. It's kind of hard to figure out whether or not it does, because I'm pretty sure if I lower my life, it does give you increased attack speed, the Last Stand. So that potentially could work in tandem. So if I go lose some life, we can test that. Oh, Draxus, also, check a random number in chat for me. If there's anyone else who's jumped in chat and you haven't put like a random favorite number that you have, it's basically for me to basically pick a number out of a hat, and whoever gets picked wins the code. So I'll get you guys to add me on Discord if you can. I'll just chuck that in chat for you guys now. And then if you want, just join the server. You can leave afterwards if you really want to. But just go through the link tree and then just throw me a DM and just give me your either chat name if it deviates from your chat name, and I'll send you the code to whoever is the locker winner. So we do have a 3-star. I'll quickly run and do this one, and then we'll do Medica King, and then I'll probably wrap up. But I hope a lot of the information that I've been sharing with you guys has been giving you a little bit more of an understanding of like what you can expect in Soulframe. There are a lot more things happening. I'm hoping that there's another update potentially by the end of the year, but I don't think there's any guarantee on that. I'm hoping, because I would love to do something over Christmas. And that would be play this game. So, all right, there we go. We've got our little info dude. Sweet. We'll go take out a Banneret. It is through the Undercity though, so I may not do the Undercity. I could do that one potentially after the King as well. Great. We've got a nice smite. Fully knocked arrows in this setup too can basically just one-hit enemies, no matter what level they are. So it can do roughly up to like 1300 damage, which is actually quite a lot. So even for a Banneret, they've got quite a lot of health and armor, and these guys are roughly like level 25. So having the rune active but also fully maxed, your damage output on bow and arrow, even if it's not completely maxed weapon itself, can still do an absolute ton of damage. Capturing and releasing animals, that is how you get your totems in the game, which is really, really nice. Alright, I'll go do the scroll, do the paperwork. We'll steal some Mike Wazowski paperwork, and then I'll wrap up with the Mendicant King for this a cool giveaway. Arrow Hail is pretty much one of the more highly used mechanics of the bows in the game at the moment. So we just got a double smite right then. and it's really good to be able to get those off because it does increase your rune activation time. And Ascension. Alright, we'll go see if we can find this paperwork, which is Pumpkin Hill. There's a bunny. And I loved getting headshots with the active rune. It's really, really fun. Archers can snipe you from a mile away. It's amazing how much range they've got too. And that's unfortunate because we don't actually get the range that they have. So I find that very interesting. So I'll grab the paperwork. I'm going to drop the Sparrowtail though. And I'm going to take you guys for the Mendicant King over here. That's a really good fight, actually. And his armor is insanely good. And it looks cool. Hello, fam. Lovely. Ascensions. Very good. It's really, really nice to be able to open up builds, especially with different weapons, and the bows definitely benefit from having these runes in game. The Alka's Breath is really, really strong, so I think from memory, actually, you know what, I'm just going to show you, because my memory can be a little bit janky sometimes. Having a spicy neuro brain, it's great. Let's have a look. Alka's Breath, it does do arcanic damage, so technically that's magic damage, alongside Gwillin and the Earthroot as well. But very strong nonetheless. Nothing to be sniffed at, that's for sure. We do get quite a lot of range in the game. Just not quite as much as the enemy archers, unfortunately. If you do kill an enemy, sometimes you can do a really quick soul smite and hopefully get the soul and just keep your rune active. But for the most part, most of the enemies just get absolutely wasted. It doesn't have to be a fully charged shot every single time, but they do help, especially with the heavier units in the game. You're so excited for the dev stream. I think, is that next Friday? I'm pretty sure. These are the corrupt areas, and they're basically the snow-like areas that are on the map of Midrath. So there's roughly 3 of them. So you can tell they're corrupt. Actually, there's 4. This one here, this is where the Wazit is. This is where the Mendicant King resides. There's New Vissi as well. It is worth checking out for materials, especially the corrupted flowers, the Synod's Maiden, I believe they're called, and these 2 areas up here.
And keep you.
That's basically Lady Dura saying, hey, you failed your mission, which really doesn't matter because they respawn quite quickly. So I could probably do one later. I mean, even if P12 won't come in December, we'll get something doing Warframe. That is very true. Also, there's the prawn, and there's the lantern that they drop, and you can pick up stuff from them if you didn't know that. It is very, very useful to pick up some of the stuff that they can drop. There's another, well, everyone else calls them shrimp, but I call them prawns. Not to be difficult, just because prawns are bigger and better. And these guys hit like a truck as well. So that's a lantern. You get roughly around like 3 or 4 seconds before it goes boom. There you go. That is corrupt magic damage, I'm assuming. It does one-shot you, especially early on in the game. So, this is the arena for the Mendicant King. He was on holiday, but he's back now. And you can tell that he's active, just hanging out, waiting for you. Easiest way to wake him up is just aim down sight and throw something at the bell. These guys thankfully do carry souls. So if you get them smoked, or smitten, I like to say, you can reactivate your rune. What he's doing at the moment is just aiming his corrupt magic at me. If those big missiles hit you twice, it will freeze you and stun lock you a bit. So he does do a teleportation, and he basically swaps positions with his soldiers. So it's a good idea to be able to get these guys out of the way as soon as you possibly can, especially if they're a higher level. That's the stun lock right there. And I just miss out on that smite as well. And when he has like a glowing like headpiece, it means he's in like his power move stance. The aiming and locking on the game is a little bit funky with the soul steals as well. So you do lock on specifically to an enemy, but you can force it away from an enemy just by blocking. So you do want to focus on these guys, especially for a smite chance, if you've got a rune, because they can be very, very useful against the Mendicant King. And a good thing I brought an absolute ton of armor, because he can actually kick the hell out of you, which is what you don't want. Very different to Nimrod in the way that his mechanics work. He's slow, but he does hit like a truck. He can basically jump behind things as well to minimize all of his projectiles as well. You can stop his transformation or teleportation by killing the enemy that has a glowing crown on top of their head. You can also reshoot the bell, and there's an AoE that will happen from the bell to basically knock him down and stagger him. So he does have to be in range. So if I do that, it knocks him down and he's gone. And that's just 5 shots with the Bellest on top of the fly blades as well. This is his power stance, basically. So he's basically glowing, and he uses his greatsword. You can keep throwing a weapon at the bell, but you do have to give it roughly about 2 seconds between each cast. But if he's in his power stance, you can't stagger him, unfortunately. So you do have to wait, and the corrupted areas, luckily, can block him from doing his power move against you and trying to freeze you again, basically. And he does drop a ton of stuff. One of them being his Mendicant King's set. So you roughly need about, I think, 3 to 4 fragments for each of the pieces. I think for his helm you only need about 2 fragments. I'm pretty sure for the chest piece you need about 3 to 4. Much like the Argera set, I know that the chest piece was roughly about 4 fragments. And then I think it's about 2 fragments for the leg pieces as well. Right, Cool. Alright, well that is the Mendicant King done. And I've certainly gone over the hour and a half for the code giveaway. So for everyone who's stuck around and put your numbers in the chat for me as well, I do appreciate that as well. Good to know lanterns can one-shot early in the game. Would have just looked at it. Yeah, those can definitely one-shot for sure from the shrimp. You really don't want that. So I guess I have spoiled a few little bits and pieces within the game with helpful information at least. So let's have a look. So we had 13 Mochiduchi. I'm just going to do something. Dracis, I do have a query for you as well. Would you be able to help me draw the winning number as well? Just to make it fair. I could do a program thing, but I just ran out of time. So if you don't mind, I will send you the two little numbers and the names of who gave them as well. If you're okay with doing that. Just before I do though, is there anyone else in chat? If you're interested in a Soulframe code, if you've got a number between like 1 and 100, just pop in a number in the chat for me, and I'll add you into the code giveaway. P12 won't come in December. We'll get something to do with Warframe. Yeah, I certainly hope so as well. I'm just trying to think of like other little mechanics that I can kind of share with you guys too. Before I wrap up, I probably will go for dinner as well. All right. Do that. All right, so I'll just let that run for like in my brain like 60 seconds. And then I'll just generate a random picker. All right, so Dracis, you're on the draw for the code as well. Oh, okay, yeah, you can be my random draw. Well, I've got 3 numbers from one from yourself and 2 of the other chatters at the moment. So just to be clear, for anyone else in chat, if you do want a code, just drop a number in chat for me. 1 to 100. I'm going to put your name and your number pick into like a randomized little list. And then I'm going to send that to Dracis, and then he can pull one at random. And then that will be the winner. So I've got Mochiduchi, and then I've got Tweet 9914. And then yourself, Dracis, as well. I was trying to get the giveaway thing working out, but I had to set up a few other things beforehand, so there we go. Oh, you can't join the raffle today, Tweet? That's right. All right. Thank you for joining, though, as well. And we do have the directory-wide code drop next week, Saturday 15th as well. All right. Okay. Super close. So, Mochiduchi, can you throw me a whisper through Twitch or Discord, and I will send you the code, because you won. I just did the randomized Winnie Spiel thing, and I came up with 12. So you were the closest. So you win, my friend. So while I'm doing that, I will get that code for you as well. Nice. And hopefully you'll be able to jump into Soulframe maybe tonight and start going through the game. It's really, really good. If you've got any queries on the starter packs as well, I'm happy to answer some of your questions as well. Yeah. Alright. Cool. So let's have a look. What's the date today? I think it's 9th. Yeah. Alright. I just got to do paperwork, which is crap, but I'm going to do it. Mochi. Oh, hey, hey. Sweet ass. Awesome. For you, it's on Saturday, so for otherwise it might be on Friday. Yeah, I'm technically a day ahead. Technically. Roughly about an hour, I think. Cool. Alright. Mochi, I'm gonna send you a whisper on Twitch or Discord. Oh, you did Discord? Sweet. Alright. Gotcha. Alright. I love your name on Discord. That's hilarious. Does it start with melodic? I'm not going to read out the whole name, but I love that name. That's dope. Just to confirm. Oh yeah, cool. You did DM me? Sweet. Alright. There you go. Alright. And just let me know when you've got that one as well. Just so I can confirm that live. And I've just noted down who won, date and time, etc. as well. More so for me than anyone else. Sweet. Cool. So that one's yours. And welcome to Soulframe as well. Very, very cool. It's an amazing game. So there's a very good community around Soulframe as well. A lot of Warframers have been playing it as well, and there's a lot of really good feedback. So I really hope that you enjoy. So awesome. Great. You got that one there? Dope. Thank you for joining as well. I think it's one of my first like giveaway things that I've done on stream. So yeah, I'll be a little bit more prepared next time. But I hope the information has helped as well. So listen to all sorts of music, so why not? Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I think with the Soulframe streams, I don't run music as such. I generally choose not to, more so for the immersiveness for the game. Warframe sometimes I will. As you know, it's very fast paced, so having a little bit more doof music in the background is quite good as well. So but yeah, thank you very much everyone for joining in and spending time as well. Dracis as well, thank you very much. It's always nice to see your name in chat. And yes, you are correct, it will be Friday for most people. It'll be Saturday for me, so I think it'll be like really early morning. I would say probably around like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for me. So yeah, awesome. Well, let me know how you go, Mochi, as well. More than welcome to add me in game as well. So I think, which one? There we go. That one, don't worry about the hashtag 275, but feel free to add me. I am part of the Discords of Soulframe too. So I'm on the private and the, well, the Preludes Discord, but also the open as well, that you can get through on the Soulframe website as well. So yeah, awesome. Oh, well, I'm glad that you enjoyed. Honestly, it's basically why I like doing what I do. So also, like, if there's extra information that differs from now until whenever, I generally do stipulate, you know, nothing's set in stone, especially in this game for now. But eventually, you know, we'll get to a point where there's going to be a little bit more solid foundations, I guess you could say. So for being a game of like 24 months, it's well, just a little bit over that. It's definitely a worthwhile game getting into. And I would highly recommend jumping into the Discord for Soulframe, but you're more than welcome to jump into Smooth Operations as well. And I've got a few other Soulframers in there as well. And I've been hanging out with a few other Soulframer streamers as well. So lots of information to put together and put out there to help you guys get through the game a little bit smoother as well. No pun intended on that one. All right, dope. Well, congratulations again. Yeah, sweet as. I look forward to it. I really enjoy helping players get through Soulframe. So a few things I will note: definitely check your journal. They're your fables, your quests that are active. Codex, also a very good compendium of knowledge. Inventory, keep an eye on that one. Your map, hugely useful. And for the game mechanics, soul mode or soul site, extremely useful. So get used to, like, get your feel around it. But yeah, like I say, lots of information up on YouTube, etc. I myself have actually got a YouTube channel. So if you do choose to go and check some of the stuff out there, let me know what you think. And yeah, if there's anything that you want additional to that or an expansion on, more than happy to put some stuff together for you there, and everyone else in the world who enjoys Soulframe. So thank you very much, everyone, for the stream. It's been really, really enjoyable sharing all the information I have. So I think I'm going to go hit dinner time because it's roughly about 7:15 and I'm starving. But I'm definitely going to hydrate. So thank you very much for the hydrate previously as well, Dracis. And take care of yourselves. Get some, well, I assume most of you, it's daytime. It's now my evening. So I'll probably be on at least probably by Wednesday, I would say. But I have a few new things coming through on my day-to-day now. So I'm generally going to be doing my streams predominantly over the weekends. So I do have a Twitch stream up as well on the schedule. And I generally would do it roughly about 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. my time, AEST, which is generally mostly everyone else's wake up time for my morning today, basically. So once again, thank you very much. Take care of yourselves, rehydrate, do all the good things in life, and enjoy yourselves. And I will see you guys either Wednesday evening or over the weekend next week for the community drops or directory drops on Twitch for the Soulframe codes. So thank you very much. Ciao for now. Enjoy. Thanks, Mochi. Take care. Ciao.